Okay. It's nice to see you all. I'm glad some of you stayed. I am going to be really quick. I'm going to try to do this in 10 minutes, a recap of the entire 2 days. This is my sixth, actually it's my fifth ACT event. I should warn you all that there's some sort of disease. It seems that some men who come to this event get kidney stones. Richardson couldn't make it because he had them the first year I had kidney stones. So the fair warning. Anyway, you know that Samir and I have been great friends for many years. You know, and on your behalf, Samir and I have debated over the years the future of the magazine industry. This is 2007, Battle of Champions. So not every set of publishing pundits gets to have their own magazine strip. You can see here something you've heard before, print is thriving. It's the biggest issue ever, not the biggest issue of the month, it's the biggest issue ever. And I'm suggesting that enthusiasm alone is not a good business plan. Print sales are down 11%. This is like a couple of years old, and print sales are in fact a little bit less than that. But we both maintain our enthusiasm. So we do have our differences. Look at the variety of magazines, and my favorite thing is we can't cling to print simply because people like you want to hoard piles of magazines in their homes. Our friendship is a joy to behold. If it's not ink on paper, it's not a magazine. Print is not dead, but it's changing, and we need to change with it. And that's pretty much what this show was all about. Print is not dead, it's changing, and we're changing with it. So what did we learn here at Act 6? Well, we heard from Sid Evans, and what Sid said, Liz said, and almost every professional had these themes about immersion, about people want to retreat into a magazine. Magazines are personal. People write to magazines. It's a collection of ideas, and you get the feeling that it's a collection of ideas just for you, the reader. Magazines are surprising. Magazines are social. Magazines are actionable. And magazines are credible. The physical fact of holding something in your hand makes them credible, and magazines are indeed physical. So, although John Harrington, a sage in our business, although the newsstand is an icon, it is fading away. And then, so we used to sell 41%. In 1994, we sold 41% sell-through. That means we print 10 magazines and we sell 4. We're now up to a point where we print 10 magazines and sell 2.5. It's not a great trend, but it doesn't indicate the death of the magazine industry. It means a change in our business plan, a change in the way our methodologies work. We're more reliant on subscriptions than we are on newsstands. Newsstands, too, won't go away, but it is a diminishing breed. And the interesting point that was, we ship 7 magazines each way. We send, in this case, 10 to the store, and we take back 7. So reimagine the newsstand for those students who are still left in the room. This was the best synopsis, review, and enthusiastic review of the newsstand industry. I was incredibly excited by this. Men from different parts of the field, and what the brilliant part of this was they were incredibly honest. I go to 12 shows a year, sometimes 16 shows a year, and there's more fluff than there is honesty. And in that show, it was dynamic, and we should take that on the road. Covers. Sid and Liz, they had some great ideas about covers. This is one of mine. So I thought that Naomi was incredibly interesting, and she brought up what I interpreted as what is normal. And of course, you know, the girl's mom says it's just a setting on the dryer deal. There is no normal. So what did she say about millennials? Naomi's research on how people read on digital devices as opposed to print. Do they read differently? Her position is it's not about digital good or digital bad, it's just about what is. So the number of platforms with text is growing. The number of platforms with less text is growing. That's her point. We're condensing our ability to read long form. Digital is reshaping who we are. Computers are offloading tasks from the human to the machine. It changes the notion of what we do ourselves and what we keep in our head, and possibly what we can keep in our head. So telephony is changing the responsibility. Telephony is changing the responsibility of always being available. Online social networking, to always be available, to always be posting. There's this compulsion now that if you have a cell phone, you have to react the minute it vibrates. You have to know what your friends are saying. You just ate a hamburger, you got to share it with the world. There's the stress of always having to be on. These were some of the points of Naomi's. We no longer have the time to digest what is important. It is reshaping what it means to read. Liz this morning told us this great story how somehow a 7-year-old girl who wanted to become an editor, in fact, did become one. And you students in the room, you can become anything you want to be. It was a great example. And I put it to you that it's not an unusual example. If you have the wherewithal, the ambition, the drive, the simple desire, you can be anything you want to be. Liz proves that the power of storytelling is alive and well. Magazines at their best are immersive and filled with storytelling. She talked about surprise, humor, pride, delight, and a slight touch of sadness as important points in developing a successful magazine. She said that stories that change lives are meaningful in magazines. Then we went to Sharon Pierce, 225 years of love, luck, and tradition, 26 years old. I have a story to tell about the Farmer's Almanac. Most of you don't know, I don't think you know, that I am a 2-term town councilman in upstate New York. And I am also a magazine guy. And I had this epiphany, well, Farmer's Almanac is coming off stands. Maybe I can get a few copies. All politicians hand out something when they go door to door. I got 1,000 Farmer's Almanacs. I went door to door. I gave everybody a Farmer's Almanac with my picture pasted on it and saying, vote for Bo. And it worked. I got elected. We cut the same deal 4 years later. I got reelected again. So, yeah, this book is near and dear to me. So, Robert Thomas was 26 years old when he published this, and I thought I'd share with you where I was when I was 26 years old. I don't know if Garrett is still here, but I was at High Times when I was 26 years old, and we started it when I was 24. So I have stories I could tell him. But this, again, is, I want to be inspirational to the students. I didn't know what I was doing when I was 26 years old. We made it up as we go along. All these guys here who are just inspirationally starting magazines, and they don't know what they're doing fine. I think the point is you don't have to know what you're doing. You just go forward with a little bit of integrity, a little bit of smarts, a little drive. You're in. So what's this whole show all about? Print ain't dead. It's not dying. It may be changing. It may be morphing. As far as I can tell, there's at least $12 billion left of revenue for publishers. It is considerably down, but I'd happily share $12 billion with any of you. So these guys, I got very inspired about hearing they're all different stories. And each one was different. Each one had a different concept. And the concepts for new magazines are unlimited. And as proof, I want to share there's always room for a great new magazine. Whatever it is, there are people like you out there somewhere. So, to the students, I didn't clear this with my friend Samir, but I'm going to give you all a promotion. Could I have your name? Grace. Grace, from today on, you are the president, CEO of Grace Enterprises. And all you other students, you're the president, CEO of your own corporation. When you go out into the world, when you present yourself to Mr. Morris or Donna or anybody else, you walk in with your head high because you are the president of this unique Grace Corporation. And you have worth, you have value. You will accomplish anything that you're asked to do, and you will do well.